I heard that Tiffany Henyard is out here retaliating against the people. She just can't get right. I seen somebody in the chat, they said, man, I can't wait for her to go to jail. I don't wish jail on nobody. I don't wish jail on nobody. I don't wish being broke. I don't wish jail. I don't wish it on anybody. Now, if somebody continues to have self-inflicted wounds to where they cause it for themselves, then that's different. But I don't wish jail on anybody. I don't want nobody to just go to jail because I want them to go to jail. Right? I just don't. I just don't have it in me to wish it, to will it, to want to say anything. And I want to. Mel Duke, I get articles all day long sent to me from all over the globe about all different issues on a regular basis. And I have to source through and figure out, okay, what do I want to talk about today? Is this something that's relevant to what it is that we're doing? And how can I add value into the people's lives? Right? Honestly, that's my thing. And I pray before I open up my email and I start talking about or looking at what's going on, right? And I'm just saying, bro, like, she can't even get out of her own way. She can't even get out of her own way. And that's sad. Because she don't have to be in this position. It's like arrogance. You know, it reminds me of Pharaoh. And honestly reminds me of Pharaoh, because if you read the story, and in order for God to continue to perform the miracles, and you had Moses and Aaron, and they was up there saying, let my people go. You know what I'm saying? And every time he would go through something, it would seem as though, yeah, he about to release the people, and then it would say that his heart got hardened again. The heart of him got hardened until he just continuously broke himself all the way down to where he had no other choice. The heart was hardened, and it's almost like her heart is hardened, honestly. And I don't understand it. It's like, walk away. Even Diddy was like, you know what? Let me take a little hiatus. I messed up the money. I was out here having freak offs. I'm out here doing what it is that I'm doing on a regular basis, and it's not working. Let me just sit down for a minute. Russell Simmons went into hiding over in India or Indonesia somewhere. Diddy is over there just growing his hair out, and he probably looking crazy out here in these streets. The first thing that you do is you just be quiet, because if you quiet long enough, it'll go over to somebody else. Somebody else will do something where, oh, okay, that was yesterday news. Ain't nobody even checking for that no more. Just don't talk about it. Just don't talk about it. But this woman can't get out of her own way. And every single time that I wake up and I see what's going on out in these streets, the first thing that I see is Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany put her name on a billboard. Tiffany released a new video celebrating herself. Tiffany retaliating against the businesses. Bars is raided all of a sudden as soon as they started talking to the FBI.
Well, more controversy is brewing in South suburban Dalton.
So last night, police shut down 2 popular bars. One trustee says the reason? Because they're not financially supporting Dalton's mayor, Tiffany Henyard. Our Dane Placco has more.
Is it coincidence or retaliation? Both of the Dalton bars that were raided and shut down last night, we visited the day before as part of our ongoing investigation into allegations of political corruption in Dalton.
They just rushed in here, put police at the front of the door like they was doing a raid on the drug house or something.
A team of Dalton police officers raided and shut down Pablo's Bar and Cafe and Rinky's Bar and Cafe, both located on Sibley, about a block apart.
Everything going peacefully, nothing going on. It's like 10 police cars came in and they start pushing customers from here. And he said, if you don't leave, we're gonna lock you up.
Employees and owners say it's part of an ongoing campaign of harassment by Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard that is costing jobs and money. Their business licenses have been stripped by Dalton, but they've continued to operate with a state license.
I have like over 23 employees. They work from the local township. Now, end of the day, all the employees, they're gonna lose their job.
It's ridiculous. We all have mouths to feed. We all have kids. They're not giving us no explanation.
On Monday, we visited both Rinky's and Pablo's to ask about allegations their licenses were being held up for political reasons. Then last evening, we broke the story that FBI agents have questioned at least a half dozen people, including business owners, a former Dalton employee, and an elected official as part of an investigation into Mayor Henyard. Less than 2 hours after our story aired, police raided the two bars.
Someone seen you go in there, and then 2 hours after your story airs, that police are at both of these establishments.
Dalton trustee Tammy Brown says she believes the raids are meant to send a warning to others not to talk. And she believes there's a reason so many Dalton businesses are having trouble getting their licenses renewed.
I'm sure that they were asked to make a donation, and most likely they didn't make a donation. So you don't get a chance to stay open if you don't pay the Queen's ransom.
Now, tomorrow evening, there will be a special public meeting of the trustees who are opposed to the mayor, in which they plan to take action on the village's finances, getting access to Village Hall. They've been locked out, and welcoming that investigation by federal agencies. Dane Placco, Fox 32 Chicago.
All right, so let's back up for a minute, y'all. Let's back up for a minute, and let's just really put this in perspective. Okay, let's just talk about this for a minute. This is stuff that you see in the movies. You don't see this happening in real life. Like, we watch this in Casino and Goodfellas. You know, and documentaries about what happened with the mob and Al Capone and what was going on in Chicago and the Detroit bosses and the New York bosses, and they all went, and the St. Louis bosses, and they all met together in order to... You don't see this happening in real life. From a woman. From a woman. Now, let me tell you why it's so bad. Okay? Let me tell you why it's so bad. The first reason why it's bad is because she's killing her own city. She's killing businesses in her own city. I need to prop you up. Okay. I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example from a very basic C student's perspective, okay? My job is to add value into your lives. The reason why, and people can't understand, why is Anton's Patreon so popular? Why is Anton's Patreon so popular? Is because I'm so focused at every turn on add value into your life. Now, people will hit me up and they will say, well, Anton, I won this, or Anton, I've been successful in this, or you helped me in this. What can I do for you? And then I say to them in return, and everybody can always say this, everybody knows I've never taken $1 from nobody. I've never invested nobody else's money, none of that. I just give you the information to do it yourself. I'm teaching you how to fish. And then I say to people, well, the way that you can help me is by making sure that you continue to get rich and be successful. And the reason that I do that is because I understand that the reason why you patronize me is because I'm already adding value into your life. Now, how is that relevant to Tiffany Henyard, right? Because her success is largely dependent on the residents. Any politician, any business person, any person that runs a company, any person that's a part of a professional organization understands your success is my success. And so if the businesses thrive, if people make more money, if everybody get rich, if everybody become more successful, if the property values go up and the taxes go down and your businesses thrive, the reason why cities and residents, the reason why these cities and these municipalities, they give away these properties. So some people will say, well, man, they was giving away a property for $1 or $1,000, is because the city can't do nothing with it on its rolls, because they can't collect any money. They can't get any tax revenue. They can't get any property taxes. You can't bolster the schools. The schools become worse as a result of it. The police force, you start having budget deficits. You got to have cuts. Businesses don't want to do business there. Why they give you tax incentives to open up businesses so that you can have and create jobs that people then pay taxes on the tax rolls in order for you to continue to be successful. And then ultimately you get reelected. You become a legend. Everybody wins when everybody wins. That's the idea. Everybody wins when everybody wins. When you rich, When you get money, I become more successful because you now are a reflection of me, which allows for me to do more business and make even more money, not from you or off of you, but because of how it is that I poured into you. And this is the thing that politicians don't understand. They think that you're there to serve them, but they're there to serve you. This is what's wrong with the black community in a general sense, which then feeds over into why people chase power so much. If you pour into me because I'm pouring into you, we both win. But instead, we operate like crabs in a barrel, and then we got this mob mentality that says that we going to take over everything and destroy everything. At the very least, the mob back in the day, if you understand them and you study them and you studied the casinos and the Goodfellas and the Al Capones and the Teamsters unions and stuff, even though they were corrupt, even though they strong-armed, even though they did things crooked, even though they was absolutely horrible in how it is that they implemented and took over power, they still provided a service. They provided protection. They didn't let nobody else shake them down. Now, some people got greedy and all of that, and we can get into that. But the idea of why people bought into it and why people wanted to be a part of the organization in the first place is because there was a sense of family, community, and protection from outside sources, especially when you talked about the police departments, white people at the time. You know, they were trying to compete for different neighborhoods. And so the people could go to whoever the mob bosses were and say, hey, listen, I'm having a problem and this and that and so on and so forth. And they would try to be fair in order to solve for the problem. And then as a result, you had to pay dues. She provides no value. She destroys her city. She gets pissed off. And when she gets pissed off, she leverages the police department against it. Now, here's my other question. Why are the police and why are people supporting her? She is literally Nino. She wants to be a mob boss. She wants to be Nino Brown. She want to go by. She want to build an ice rink. I seen a little whack video of her love at the club at the ice rink where she had somebody playing a saxophone and then she had the little things. That don't mean nothing. That's like giving away a turkey while you poisoning your community. This is the worst mayor. And it just so happened to be a small town mayor. Thank God, because if it's a large town mayor, it makes it even worse. This is the worst mayor I've ever seen in my entire life. By far. Drunk with power, disrespectful, taking people's livelihoods, doing pay for play, raiding people's businesses, messing up the money, raising the taxes, operating out of a deficit, and using the people's money in order to live a lavish lifestyle. This is quite possibly the worst example, and I'm telling you, we're going to witness it in real time. We've watched it since its inception, and we're going to watch the downfall. We've watched it since its inception, and we're going to watch the downfall. Don't she know that they just letting her destroy herself, that they just letting the evidence pile up? And because she ain't been contacted, but everybody else started being contacted, that's when you're supposed to get a little bit nervous. That's when you get scared. Wait a minute. Police called you? Hold on. FBI is talking to you? They talked to 12 people? They talked to all of y'all that was asking questions? What? But they haven't contacted you at all. They ain't talked to you at all because they letting you do what you do. They're letting you take yourself down. This is quite possibly the worst thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. The most biggest, and you know what makes it worse? Is because it's self-inflicted. It's 100% self-inflicted. This isn't even something that like she gonna be surprised about. This is something that everybody, she's watching this. Her people watching this right now. She watching it right now. What up, Tiff? What up, little Tiff? What up, Tink Tink? Don't you know you a fool? Don't you know you the most ignorant woman that I've ever witnessed and watched be so disrespectful to yourself that I've ever heard of in my entire life? Don't you realize, let me talk to you for a minute, because I had to talk to Fannie Willis before we started to see that downfall. Let me talk to you for a minute. Don't you realize, let me get the full view. Don't you realize, ma'am, that you are a representation of, especially when you start to get visibility and get power, and you're a community leader and a community servant, and you start to be at the forefront of the congregation. Don't you know that you're a representation of black women? I can't do the stuff that regular people do because I'm held to a higher standard and I have a responsibility to serve the people and be a reflection of the thing that I'm advocating for. I can't do that. You can't do that. You are supposed to be a leader. You're supposed to be the inspiration behind some little black girl that feels like she could be mayor of a city, or better yet, be president one day. Would I ever let my daughter shadow you for a day? Absolutely not. Because you are the worst thing for the community. You are absolutely, positively despicable. Drunk with power, disrespectful, not a servant leader, and you let the devil use you. You are the devil. You let the devil use you, using you, and then he gonna discard you. And you sold your whole city out for what? A couple $100,000? A couple $100,000? You shut down jobs. You leveraged the police department. You stole from the people. Don't you realize that ain't even your money? That ain't even like an institutional investor's money. That's not a bank's money. That's the people's money. The people pay their property taxes so they can have somewhere to live, and they can have somewhere that they hopefully can have their kids go to school, because the money goes into the schools, and you over here using it like you some kind of mob boss, like you Nino Brown, like you Sam Rothstein. What's wrong with you? Wake up before it's too late. Because then you're going to be blaming the people. You're going to blame the system. It's because I'm a black woman. No, it's because you a fool. You a whole fool and nothing but a fool. And unfortunately, not enough people around you love you. Your people don't love you, because if they did love you, if your father loved you, I don't know who your mama is, if your friends loved you, if the people that actually had your best interests at heart loved you, they would sit you down and say, shut the up and stop doing the stuff that you're doing. They using you. Don't you realize that the people that's around you is using you? They destroying you because they benefiting off of you, and you think that you doing something because you got a little bit of visibility, you got a little bit of power. This is why the Bible itself says you got to be faithful over little before you become ruler over much. A lot of y'all are praying for success. A lot of y'all are praying for greatness. A lot of y'all praying for a great man. Some of y'all are praying for a phenomenal job. Some of y'all are praying for more money, more power, more opportunity, be able to travel and do all of these things. God can't give it to you if you then call yourself a saint of God, because he don't want to give you more than you can handle. He said, be faithful over little before I make you ruler over much. Prove yourself to be faithful over this thing. You could have been phenomenal. You could have been the greatest thing of all time, and you ruined it. You messed it up because you don't know how to control yourself, and you let yourself get drunk with power. The little bit of power, you ain't even making no money. You ain't even got no money. The salary that you got, what you think that you getting, we spend that in a month. We spend that in a month. That ain't even no money to us. You let the power go to your head, and you ain't even getting a bag from it. That's why the saints can't grow, because they don't understand that it's rules to the game, and you can't skip steps when it comes to what success looks like. You can't sell your soul. He's not going to let you embarrass the word of God. He's not going to let you embarrass the kingdom because you want it. He's not going to give you what you want just because you want it. He's going to give you what you need so you can get to it. So then when you have to suffer before you get to the successes, that's God teaching you the lesson, because your character going to keep you where your talent can't take you. Your character is going to keep you where your talent can't take you. You got it. You could be successful. You could be great, but it's other people that's passing you by every day, and it's only for two reasons. The first reason is because they from the devil. They got they stuff from the devil. It ain't a blessing if you get it from the devil. It's just something that you get and that's not best for you, and it feels good at the moment, but it's going to ruin you later. It's either because they got it from the devil, or they got the character and they got it from God and they didn't skip steps. And so their character is going to keep them where their talent is taking them. That's the only way you can get it. It's only two ways. It ain't no middle road, ain't no coasting, ain't no middle class when it comes to right or wrong. It's black or white, right or wrong. Either you're going to get it from there and you're going to try to take shortcuts and skip steps, or you're going to get it from here and you're going to do it the right way and get the character, the blessings, the love, the accolades, and you're going to make it to heaven, and you're going to do the thing that's right for the people as a result of it. It's only two ways. And clearly you picked one way, and we know which way that is because you won't humble yourself long enough to do the thing that's in the best interest of the residents. And we watching it in real time. Everybody can see it but you. Everybody can see it but you. And I prayed for your monkey butt. That's the worst part about it because I sat there and I sent up a prayer for you. Had me take my prayers back. Had me taking my prayers back. Disrespectful to the people in your own city.